was a mutual decision because I had a dispute, not with the WWE actually, but with the company that did the testing, which is a separate company. I had disputed them on their protocol because I had been on certain medications for over a year that they were well aware of, and then suddenly made an issue of it. And basically, it turned out to be like a paperwork protocol issue. And I just didn't like the way the whole thing was handled, and I felt it was wrong, and I felt I needed to stand up for myself, which in this world can be a huge mistake.
Right.
But at the point of time, and I still stand behind standing up for myself. I think if something you feel is unjust, I think human beings have a right to stand up for themselves and speak their mind.
Okay. No, well, you had this. Did you have this conversation with anybody of significance, or was just a member of creative?
No. This conversation, this was with me and management actually at the time, and at that point, I had already decided when the testing company had done what they had done, I had already decided at that point I'd asked for them actually to let me go at that point.
Okay.
Because I was like, I don't agree with this, and I just can't work in an environment. Firstly, I felt like I wasn't really being utilized anyway.
Right.
So we were going nowhere anyway. I felt like everything was just basically 3 months of survival. You know, when I would change character slightly, it was just creating another 3 months of survival. And so there was no long-term plan for me anyway, I felt like they were pretty much waiting out my contract, or were going to let me go at some point in any case. And then when that came up, I was just like, I didn't want to handle this anymore, you know?
No, understood. We like to do here in studio sometimes. We like to take like characters that we kind of think might have went stale or might not be getting over, and we try to like think of ideas of what to do. And we actually had you as a member of the Wyatt family at one point.
A lot of people did. They felt like Leo Kruger should have been a member of the Wyatt family.
I thought that would have been great. You throw on a nice denim jacket, and you already had the dark eyes going and the long hair, and you can't get any creepier than Bray, but still you could fit in.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons Kruger was dumped, actually, because at the time Bray had just debuted.
Right.
So I think one of the reasons why Kruger was dumped was because Bray had the commodity on creepy, and nothing else was going to touch it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's definitely got creepy down pat.
Oh yeah, that's it. He owns it.
we spoke to his father at a convention, and we walked over to him, and I think Bo I think just was in the Social Outcasts with you guys, and Bray was at the peak of his creepiness, and we walked over to Mike, and we were like, good job with those kids, and we walked away, and he was just hysterical.
I love them. They are awesome. They are like just a riot to be around, both of them. Like I remember, because I was in development for a long time with both of them. They're two of my favorite people in the world. Bray Wyatt behind the scenes is an absolute riot.
He looks like he's a funny guy. In a scary way. I guess you got to know him to love him.
No, he's good company, man. He is good company. Those two together are absolutely hilarious.
All right, so now you're at the post of your WWE career, and you're back at the end doing some indie. What besides?
Yeah, I've never been on the indies. This is my first time on the indies. Like I went just in South Africa to developmental, so this is my first experience of the American indies. And,
it's a different breed. to say the least.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Oh yeah,
Altogether, though, it's an experience I'm happy I'm having. Because I have
there's a lot of weirdness. A lot of people like to say a lot of trolls, but they're probably the best fans because they're very educated. They know what to expect, and they're most easily amused.
Well, not necessarily. Like once again, every audience is different, and that's what I like about the indies. You go from this town to that town, but you're getting completely different audiences.
Right.
So you have to be able to adapt. I mean, so the WWE is the same thing, but it's even more. You have to adapt to the audience that's there.
Right.
you know, on that particular night. Like some crowds want to see wrestling, so you got to give them wrestling. Some crowds are not that educated, so they don't need to see that much because they'll just be confused by a lot of it.
Right.
So it's like you have to gauge what you're working with, and that to me is a beautiful learning experience.
And you don't really have time to do it. Like you got to walk in, you got to gauge the crowd in almost a couple of seconds, and you know.
Well, what I'll do is I always look out the curtain and try and see the demographic of the crowd. Mm-hmm. Like we've got I did a show for Nick Dinsmore, and the audience was predominantly children. Right. So personally, I like to do very non-PG things right now, and so I had to play it straight for that.
Tone it down
show.
a little.
yeah. So you got to gauge it, but it's like, and then where were we? Legacy Wrestling against Eddie Smooth. They wanted to see some wrestling, but and finally I could break out some wrestling. A lot of people don't realize that I can actually wrestle.
Yes.
3 minutes. You know,
it's not your fault. Trust the fans know. The real fans know. It's not your fault that we didn't get to see the legit Adam Rose do what he knows how to do and how good he is at it. If you want to see it, then that's what independent wrestling I think is the best, is because you get to see wrestling. You get to see them do what they do. Nobody's writing their script for them. It's the most purest wrestling in a weird fan base kind of way.
Yeah, you get to see the product as the wrestler himself wants it produced.
Right.
So you get to see it at its most raw form, and most times, and I had this conversation with Paul Heyman once, and he said a lot of the guys in ECW were successful because he let them just be themselves.
Right.
He didn't micromanage them, and he didn't interfere with them, because he said most talent know themselves what's best for them.
Yep, and if you ask many people who've worked with Paul Heyman, they literally, I would have to say 97% of them will say he's a genius.
He is. He is an absolute genius, and it's. I think he was a genius to know not to micromanage. I think micromanagement is probably the worst thing you can do to a performer. Mm-hmm. You're handcuffing him, and you're not letting him be. And I understand why, though. WWE does that on purpose, and it's done for a reason, because we have to highlight certain stars, and we have to have people to beat, and that's just how the system works.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely. Okay, so let's promo some of these events you got coming up. I see Eric Sims has got you driving and flying everywhere, so let's see what we got. Most recently, we got September 8th. That's was that next week, right? Yeah.
I used the toilet.
Let's see. Next week, ASW in Madison, West Virginia. And September 9th, ECPW in Bayonne, New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
September 10th, from 10:30 to 12:30, you'll be signing at George Cards and Collectibles at the, I'm going to say this wrong, but the Neshaminy Mall.
Neshaminy.
The mall in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. From 3:30 to 5:30 at Frankie's East Side Gourmet in Farmingdale, New York. And then also on that same day, because you weren't busy enough on that one day, at 6:30 p.m., VPW in Center Reach, New York. So
yes, sir.
That's nuts. I mean, that day, you're gonna be all over the place.
I love that.
Let's see.
Eric.
All right, now you know what? Eric's a good planner. He can get you a ridiculous amount of appearances in small amount of times. That's one thing I will say he's very good at.
Not just that, but as a person, what a character! He's a
let's see. September 18th, FPWL in South Brunswick, New Jersey. Let's see. October 21st, again ECPW in New York. A double shot on October 22nd with SWF Live in Barnegat, New Jersey.
And, you know my schedule better than me.
Well, I had him send it to me. I'm Trust me, I didn't memorize all this. And then last but not least, on that 22nd, you'll be at ECPW again in Brooklyn, New York. Complete listing of where Adam Rose is going to be for the entire September through October. Go to www.esspromotions.com or visit them on Facebook at ESS Promotions. Or you can just reach out to Mr. Adam Rose. He very active with his Twitter account.
Not just that, I have my own website now, eldorose.com. You can go there. It's got a full listing of all upcoming dates.
There you go. You know, and I know you got more coming up in October and November, but that's with a different promoter. So I don't want to step on anybody's feet. That promoter I'm friends with. So we'll have a different show for his promoting. Don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers, you know.
No.
I might have to sit next to these guys at a convention, so.
Exactly.
Other than do you Facebook? Do you allow fan access with your Facebook page?
I got a Facebook page. It's my own one. I don't think I got a fan one. I should probably get on that. I don't. I got a website that just came up, which is the eldorose.com one.
Okay.
So you should hit that one. Then not just that, but we got my own podcast coming out soon. So.
All right, that's good. That's very nice.
That'll be. Yeah.
I mean, maybe we can be on that show. All right. So, anything you'd like to add? I'll give you the platform. Anything you'd like to promote yourself?
Well, not just that, but the Exotic Express will be real soon. So I have a actual party bus and limousine company that will be releasing soon, and probably within this month, and that'll be in the Tampa Bay area. And the Exotic Express is going to be real.
That's cool. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, is that something you're going to be traveling from show to show? Is that going to be something where?
No. That Exotic Express is a limousine and transportation service. So if you have a party or
okay,
that's going to be unveiled this month. So it's something I always wanted to do, and it's now an actual reality. So it's going to be exciting.
Very interesting.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I appreciate your time, and thank you for taking your time out of your Labor Day weekend to give us a call. And,
thank you.
We're going to see you at one of these conventions, either Legends of the Ring or Big Event, if not both. So we'll get to meet in person, put the voices with the person.
I'd love to.
And just be safe on all your venue hoppings for the next 2 months, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
All right, Adam. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Adam Rose, ladies and gentlemen, formerly of WWE. Very cool character to talk to. Appreciate the call. Thank you very much to Eric Sims of ESS Promotions for setting up that phone call. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to go into a little tribute we put together for Mr. Fuji. And then when we're back, we'll have Thunder Rosa on the line. So sit back, relax, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Frankenstein Wrestling Superstore in the world-famous Englishtown Flea Market. Blue Building, booths 46 through 48. Check them out for all your wrestling memorabilia needs. They have figures, lucha masks, t-shirts, retro collectibles, DVDs, cards, and so much more. You can also pick up tickets to local indie wrestling promotions. That's right, you heard it here on the Damage 365 Radio Network. the Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore in the world famous Englishtown Flea Market, Blue Building.